let's talk about this. This is the Adonit Neo Duo. It is a stylus. I was going to say a pencil, a pencil, but it is actually a stylus. Hello, it's me. I'm Steven Allen. How are you doing today? So this is a stylus. It does come with some extra, well, let's talk about what's in the box. It comes with some extra nibs. I haven't even opened that section. They're so small. I don't want this to fall out. It does come with a cable, USB-C to USB-A, USB-C, that's the way to be. You charge it here. And this is in comparison to an Apple Pencil, the Apple Pencil 2, to be more Pacific Ocean. So this does have magnets just like this. They kind of attach to each other like that. And this has obviously the Apple Pencil nib here. This one's smaller. This one's a bit, I think, harder than that one. You could see the size. So this Neo Duo is just a little bit shorter. So I have it like that. And I like that this charges USB-C because what I noticed on my iPad, I want to make a separate video about this, but on my iPad, I have an iPad 11-inch. This is from 2018. You attach the Apple Pencil. I got the Apple Pencil the same day I got the iPad, and I always had it attached. I always thought that the battery life on this device was trash. And I was like, why is it dying? It's a new device. Why am I having this experience? I was on set working on something, I forgot what I was working on, but I ran into an actor that had an iPad with him and he was going over his lines and I was like, oh, what? Let me turn this on. I need a fan. I'm starting to sweat. I have a video about this too. But I was like, what iPad do you have? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, can I see the back of it? And it had one camera. And then I said, do you know if it's a Pro or an Air? And he said, it's a Pro. And I was like, is it new or is it used? And he was like, it's used. And I was like, oh, it's from 2018. How's your battery life? And he was like, it's great. And I was like, how? You're lying. But he didn't have an Apple Pencil. So I took the Apple Pencil off of my iPad immediately. The battery life was fantastic. This is from 2018. And it took me years and years. Actually, maybe it was 2020 that I realized about the pencil. I think it was earlier. No, it wasn't, because I remember asking this actor recently and I thought he was lying. But I took the Apple Pencil off because I was just curious. Battery life on this was great. And it's like a very old battery and I've charged it and, you know, it's gone through so many cycles at this point. But this iPad, I thought the battery was terrible for the longest and I didn't use it that much. So I wanted this and I thought, well, I could get the Apple Pencil USB-C version, but that one you have to plug it in to pair it. This, you don't have to pair anything. And I didn't have to unpair this. Some people were saying that it wouldn't work if this was still paired, but it did. Now there are so many different versions of this. There's like a version that I think it's called the Neo Duo Pro or something. They have so many different names, but it has two different modes like this, but you have to charge it with an adapter to USB-C and you could lose that adapter. This, you just plug it in here. And I like that you can magnetically attach it to your iPad, but it doesn't charge via the iPad, so it's not depleting the battery. So basically what was happening with this is that the battery was draining because of the pencil slowly over time. So I would charge this overnight. It would be at like 10% the next morning. And I would charge it at night and then unplug it the next morning, 10%. Now it'll still be at 100% or 98% or something. It's like, that's ridiculous. I don't know if the newer iPads are better about that, but oh my gosh. I lost so many years of using my iPad because of that pencil. Let me detach it right now. So this whole video, sitting here talking and talking, I wanted it to be about testing it with different devices. So you can use this with iPhones, you can use this with iPads, you can use this with Apple Watches. So I have a few different devices with me and I wanted to try this out with you. So let me get that situation going. Pause. Resume. So let's get started with the phones first, I guess. So this is an iPhone SE2 and let me turn it on. Green mode is supposed to be for any device that like any device at all. And then with this blue mode, it's supposed to be for devices that are use like palm rejection, anything you would use an Apple Pencil with. This also works with Android devices, but I don't have any Android devices to test with. So let me turn this to the green mode, and I'll show it in the blue mode to show that it doesn't do anything at all. If you were to use an Apple Pencil, see, it doesn't do anything with the phone. Green mode. So you can see you can move the screen. I can click on different things like this. I can start a new note. I can use this to type around. And if you want to draw, you click on that, and then I can start doing my drawing situation. It doesn't have palm rejection, so I can't stick my finger on the screen and use it at the same time. It won't work. But you know, you can use it as if you were using your finger. And it works for the whole device. Like, it can open apps and scroll through and everything. And this is an iPhone SE 2. So now this is an iPhone 15 Pro. And again, I will show you that you cannot use it in the blue mode, which is resembling the Apple Pencil 2. See, it doesn't do anything at all. Oops. But it's not paired anyway, which you can't pair it because there's not any way to pair it. So let's go to the green mode. And again, you can move stuff around. You can move the screen. You can type like that. And then I can do my drawings and stuff like this, just like your finger. And I can use Instagram. I can use YouTube. I can do whatever I want to do. And I have a screen protector on here, so it works through that as well. It's just a clear screen protector. So that is an iPhone. Let's move on to the Apple Watches. Pause. Resume. So this is an Apple Watch. I still have it in the green mode, but you can see I can actually use it with an Apple Watch. You can move this around. You can click on whatever app. You see it's moving around. And if I have it in the blue mode, it doesn't do anything. Obviously, if it's off, it doesn't do anything. It works really well with this. There is a screen protector on this, and this is an Apple Watch SE 2, and I have it in a pocket watch unit for the cover. I really like this. It's super small. And I have this larger Apple Watch, and this is the Series 10. You can see in the off mode, it doesn't do anything. The only thing about this is it doesn't really work with this one. It kind of works, but it's not as consistent. I do have a screen protector on here, and I was thinking it could be like the case is touching it in a certain way, but I think I took it out of the case and tried to use it. I got this thinking, not just for the Apple Watch, but I thought I could do some videos where I'm drawing. Let me hold it in the frame. I could do some videos where I'm drawing on the Apple Watch and, make some videos about that, but it doesn't really work. But it does work on that SE2 Apple Watch, but I just wanted you to see that. So this is a Series 10. I don't know if it's because the Series 10 has a different screen. It's made in a different way, but it definitely works with this SE2 in the green mode. So let's move on to the iPads. Pause. Resume. So I have some different iPads here. This is an iPad Air 2. In my lap, I have an iPad Pro from 2015, the 12.9 inch. And then I have an iPad from 2018, an 11 inch. So this is show you the blue mode. It doesn't do anything because this is an iPad Air 2. But in the green mode, you're able to move around the screen. It does sound super scratchy. I do have a screen protector on here, I think I have it. Yeah, I have a matte screen protector on here. But it sounds like super scratchy and everything. But I can move around the screen. I can type in. Can you see it's typing? So I can type in like that. And then for drawing, go here. Oh, it's up here. So I can click on this. And then I can do my drawings with it. And I like that it has this type of tip because there was, you can get the stylus that have like the circle disc kind of tip. And I just don't like how that writes. So you're able to make like straight lines I'll have to do like another video, just like going over this with maybe a bird's eye view or recording the screen. But you're able to, oh no, it's not, oh, is my hand on the screen? There was a delay. This is an old iPad. Also, the screen is kind of bulging, I think, because of the battery, so maybe I shouldn't even use it at all. But anyway, it works. So this is an iPad Air 2. And then this is an iPad, this is large. This is an iPad from 2015, an iPad Pro. And this works with the Apple Pencil, the original version. So it doesn't work with, this is off. This is the, let's go in the blue mode. So it doesn't work in the blue mode with the palm rejection because this is the Apple Pencil 1 iPad. So it does work in the green mode, but it's kind of harder to write with because you will need your palm on here to kind of write with it because it's such a large iPad. So you can see if I go, it moves around the iPad. You can go into your different apps. You can do your typing. Let's see, it's such a large iPad, but I can type. I'm typing down there. And then if I go into drawing mode, it's still in the green mode. I can draw on it, or I can write. So you could say like, oh, it's good for taking notes, but you can't rest your hand on it. So if you want to use this as an Apple Pencil 1 replacement, it's not so great for that because you can't put your hand on it. For an iPhone, you're not really going to put your hand on it, or an Apple Watch if you want to use it as a stylus, because some people, because of their hands or fingers or whatever, it's easier for them to use a stylus. Now let's go to, we're still in the green mode. This is an iPad Pro 11-inch. And so you can see we can move around the screen and then you can type. So I'm typing down here and then you can see it typing up there. If we go into the stylus and start drawing, I guess I have to click on this. Do I have like a mode where you're not able to draw? It will draw. I don't know why it's not doing it now, but I just wanted to show it does work with an Apple or the blue mode, and I can rest my hand on it and still write. I think there's a mode, there might be a setting where I have it set to not draw unless you are using the Apple Pencil for this iPad. So I can turn that off if I want to, but anyway, you're able to draw and rest your finger, your hand on it, and it will still work. It has palm rejection. So that is that. And if you don't have that setting enabled, you can use in the green mode too. But if you're using an iPad, I think it's better to use it with the palm rejection because it's just really hard. You can have like a special glove, but if you're having to do all this special stuff to avoid your hand touching the screen, you need to come up with a different situation. So just wanted to show that. I do like this. I wanted to have this to use with different devices because I want it like this Apple Pencil. If you have multiple iPads, you have to attach it to the iPad before you start using it. So you can use it with multiple iPads, but you have to pair it first. And if you use that USB-C, you still have to pair it. You have to plug it in, which is a bit more of an extra hassle. But this, it just works right out of the gate, especially in this green mode. And often when I'm using the pencil, I'm still using my phone. So I'll write on my iPad, I'm on my computer, I'm on my phone. And if I'm writing on my iPad, I might want to start, using this with my phone, not necessarily writing, but I want to like tap on stuff. And I like having that option to be able to do that. It is easy to just put your hand here and then, use your finger. But I thought this would be like a nice universal pencil. I don't see it available all over the place. I want to look up some of the other names, other products they have. So let me do that. Pause. Resume. So they have so many different versions of this pen, and they have an Adonit SE, they have an Adonit Pro 4, they have an Adonit Mini, a Note Plus. We go over to this. They have a Neo Pro, and the Neo Pro I think is the one that you have to have a special adapter to use it, to charge it. And then they have an Adonit SE2. They have a version that does charge with the iPad, and you can't charge it USB-C. They probably have one that's a combination of both. They have this one that doesn't charge with the magnets, but it does attach with the magnets. It charges USB-C. They have Adonit Pixel, Adonit Note 2. They have Adonit Chalk, which is the one with like a little disc at the end. It's like a flat disc. And I'm not crazy about that because I feel like it doesn't resemble anything. Like this feels like you're writing with a stylus if you're used to that, but a pencil, because it meets at a point or a rounded point. But the disc, it's weird. I guess it's supposed to resemble your finger having like a flat surface here, but still. And then they have the ones where it's like a softer material, like a rubber, and it's kind of like this end, or not that end. It's kind of like this, but it's soft at the end, and you use it like this. But you don't have a lot of accuracy with it because this is a smaller point. So I like this. I've been using it a little bit. I think this is mainly for writing because it doesn't have pressure sensitivity. But for some drawings, you don't really use that. Maybe if you're just doing some sketching. It doesn't have pressure sensitivity, and it doesn't have tilt. So you can't vary the line thickness, and you can't vary the line intensity of like darker versus lighter, how hard you press on it, I believe. Let me see if it says on the box. It's missing something. I don't know if it's missing both of those. Well, that's your fault. They didn't say, but let me see if I can open up. I'll open up Photoshop. Pause. Resume. So I opened up Fresco to test this out. I made a little drawing called Mr. Milk. And I just want to see if I'm using this. So let's see if you can kind of see. So if I'm using this, you're able to press harder and get a thicker line, and softer and get a thinner line. You are able to do that, but that's not the right brush for it. Let me see if I can switch brushes. We'll use this, chisel. Let me see. Maybe this one. Yeah, this one works. So if I press on it, it's so bright. If I press on it, you can see the lines are thinner, and then if I press hard, the lines are thicker. And then if I am like very light with it, I guess, and if I go sideways, I need a different brush for that. But you can use, anyway, this works. This is an Apple Pencil 2, it does everything. You use it sideways, you can use it like this, and you'll get like a thicker line this way, you'll get, pressure sense, all that kind of stuff. Now, let's test this one. So I was just using the Apple Pencil. I didn't have to unpair it or anything. And now we're in the, I can show with this, in the green mode. Oh, it doesn't work with the green mode. I think I have it turned off where it doesn't do that. So the blue mode. Oh, it's not working. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wasn't it working before? It was working in notes. Oh, now it's not working at all. Huh. I was doing this earlier, but anyway, this Apple Pencil's working, but now it's acting like I have to unpair it. Let me see if I attach it. Well, this is good to know. You might have some issues with using it with an Apple Pencil, but I know I was just doing this earlier and I went back and forth. Okay. That is working. So now it's working with, this always works, the green mode to use the pencil and navigate around, but the drawing is not working. For whatever reason. It won't even select. Huh, okay. Well, keep that in mind. I guess we learned something that way. It's not like I am promoting this product to say that it's the best thing ever, because obviously it's a device that is not a first party, it's like a third party device where they're trying to make it work with a pre-existing application, pre-existing product that they did not make themselves, but I do like what they did with this. You can easily unpair this and then repair it later to use this, but I feel like if you're drawing, you want to use something like this because this is missing some of the features. With this, you get all the features of the pencil. Oh, I don't know with the Apple Pencil Pro. Yeah, it's not Apple Pencil Pro 2. The Apple Pencil Pro, which is for the more recent iPads, if this will work in the blue mode, because I believe this is a version of this pencil, because this will not replace an Apple Pencil 1, but it will replace an Apple Pencil 2. You just might have to unpair this with your iPad like we just saw. And I'm not sure if this will replace an Apple Pencil Pro, because on the devices that use the Apple Pencil Pro, you can't use the Apple Pencil 2. So this may not work in the blue mode for palm rejection, but it will work in the green mode for everything except for drawing. Hypothetically, allegedly. And then also, I don't know if this will replace an Apple Pencil USB-C, because I think USB-C works with all devices. I don't know. I know it replaces the first Apple Pencil, and it can be used with the Apple Pencil Pro 2, or the Apple Pencil 2 devices. This is confusing, their naming structure. I think you can also use it for the Apple Pencil Pro devices, but you lose out on some of the features, like it doesn't have tilt, or it doesn't have something. I think it has palm rejection, but it doesn't have pressure sensitivity. Look, that's complicated. That's enough. I think that's enough. We talked about this. Check this out if you want a replacement for an Apple Pencil 2 or an Apple Pencil USB-C, allegedly. I don't think it will replace what your Apple Pencil Pro stuff will do, but it is a good device. I hope that this didn't make you feel like it's not worth it because it wasn't working to draw with this, but it's only because this was paired. Let me unpair really quickly. Let me do that. Pause. Resume. It was because I had this one setting that says only draw with Apple Pencil enabled, and that was why. Now, back to my Mr. Milk. You can see that I'm using the Apple Pencil. I'm able to draw. You can see the lines. I have a new layer, so let me hide it so it didn't mess up my drawing. Show layer. So I'm able to draw with this, and I'm just gonna put this down and lift this up. I didn't change any settings. We're in the green mode, which is not with palm rejection, and it works. And then we'll go into the blue mode and see in the green mode, it won't work if I have my palm on there. And then the blue mode, it is not working. Let me go back to the green. Green mode, it does work. Blue mode, it is not working because I have this paired. So now let me unpair it. Pause. Resume. So you just have to go into the Bluetooth settings and then you just say, forget this device. So now you can see this is not working at all. And we're in the green mode, which is not palm rejection. So if I try to do this, it will not work. If I go into the blue mode, it's just a tap at the top. It is working. Can you see it? Yeah, it is working. Now, in order to use this again and to pair it, all you have to do is just put this on the side of your device like that. It says Apple Pencil at the top. Now it is paired. Oops. And I can just use it immediately. So it's not difficult to repair it, and it's not difficult to unpair it. Probably there might be a shortcut, like an Apple shortcut you can use to unpair it quickly. Let me delete this because I'm like, what is this? Delete layer. So this works well. It does what it needs to do. I kind of wish that you could switch between the Apple Pencil and this quickly, but if you do want to do that, you just won't have palm rejection, at least for this 2018. And like, different iPads work different ways. So it could be that the 2020 version, the 2022 version, they all do something a little bit different. But with the one that I have, the 11-inch 2018 version, it looks like I need to unpair the Apple Pencil if I want to use this in place of the Apple Pencil with the palm rejection. If I don't care about the palm rejection, it'll work. And I can just switch between the two. So there you go. I feel like that's enough. This was a very long video. I wanted to start the video testing this out on different devices. I might make a new video or separate this video, do like a part 1, part 2. I'm not sure. I haven't edited this video yet. I kind of like leaving these videos raw and just talking, not with any edits, just like in-camera edits. But yeah, let me know if you have any more questions about this. These are the devices I have. So if you want to donate a device for me to check out, fine, but I don't have any Android devices to test with. Obviously, this won't work with screens that are not touch screens, so I didn't try to use this with a MacBook Pro, a TV, or something like that. But anything that is a device that you can use the stylus with, that is a touch sensitive device, this should work. And you just need to turn it on and charge it. And I charged this once about a week ago, and I have not charged it since, and it still works. Now, I didn't use it a lot, only did some tests with it, but it does what it needs to do. And I like it. This is like a powered stylus. The unpowered styli, those don't really write as well, in my opinion. And you don't get the palm, you might have heard my stomach growl, I need to eat. You also don't get the palm rejection, because it's as if you're using, let me calm down. It's as if you're using your finger on the device. So this, you do get the palm rejection in that blue mode. Let me stop. I'm going on too long. This video is like 2 days long. So that's enough. If you have any questions, let me know. You can leave in the comments. Boom, boom, boom. Until next time, I'm Steven Allen. Take a little time to make art and be brilliant. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye. Good grief.